All right, is there any sound now? If there is sound, I might just stop this and then I'll restart it. So just let me know. Need some sound. All right, I'm going to stop this and then I'm going to come right back. So hold on a second. All right, I'll be back in give me about 10 minutes, okay? Anybody hear anything? No? No? Okay. Okay, the sound is on. All right, good. Can you hear me clear enough? Okay, great. All right, sorry about that. I just, I was fooling around with the software that I use, which is OBS, the other day to try to, every time that I upload a video clip, I don't hear anything back. And I kind of researched that and try to change in the settings, but apparently that's pretty common because some people use this software for gaming videos, I guess, and so you don't want to hear back what you're playing. You just want to be able to hear yourself talking. Yeah, okay, I'm glad that's good. All right, I'm sorry I didn't want to lose everyone there, and I hope that anyone who watches this later when it's posted as a video, just give me a break. I'm old, all right? Thanks. Okay. Yeah, wow, everybody's popping on here. I really appreciate it. And, Bryson, Brett Thompson, still have one more giveaway to do in Brett Thompson's name, so look out for that. Yeah, I'll start off by talking about the kitten here. And in that picture there, that's from 2005. And so time just goes by so quickly. The cat here, he found me. This is from when I lived in Castle Rock, Washington, and I know it's from 2005, obviously because of the cat, and also because of how muddy my property is in the back, and also because my little Toyota Tercel in the back there is blue, because I painted it yellow. So, after I painted it yellow. So, boy, really time does fly. Yeah, and this kitten, when we were building, and we were almost done with the house, and everything was just a big mud hole, and he just came out of the woods. I don't know if someone threw him in the woods. A lot of times people just drop kittens off that they don't want, that sort of a thing. And he came in, and then I remember I just gave him a saucer of milk, and a guy, my neighbor who was helping me build, Lyle, a real good friend, by the way. I know he's probably not watching this, but hello, Lyle. He said, well, that's your cat now. It's almost like, really? Because I know, I love animals, but my wife is not a real big pet fan. So we had this kitten for a few weeks, and it was winter time, I remember, and we had a covered porch, and I let him sleep there. I wanted him to be in the house, but my wife was not having it. And he was cute as can be. He would come running around when I would be hammering, and he would jump on the anvil. Like, man, I'm going to hammer you in the head. You better watch out. And he would scamper into the woods and then come running out like something was chasing him. So, and eventually what I did was I found a home for him in Vancouver, Washington, which is where I used to live. And, I put a thing on Craigslist, and someone who was reliable, who had a lot of cats, and I brought the kitten to them. And I remember I had him, he was in the car with me, and then as soon as we took off and we were on the highway, man, he was he was so scared. And he was just clawing my leg the whole time. And it's about like an hour drive. And man, it was tough. And I gave him to that person. And when he grew up, that person actually emailed me saying, oh, here's the grown-up kitten. And it was good because she had a lot of other cats. So, yeah, hey, Brooks Martin, how's it going? And I'll show you one other picture of Mr. Kitten here. Let me just get rid of that one. Yes. This is a real cute picture. So you can see there. This is where he would stay on the porch. You can kind of see in the back there was a little bit of a bed area I gave him. But when it was really cold, of course, cat wants to come in. And so if you crack the door open, he would run in. And I remember, if my wife wasn't looking, I didn't care. And then he would, toast his brains under the wood stove. And it was kind of, I was thinking, man, you're going to cook yourself, from the outside in. But anyway, yeah, so there's my picture of I want to say he's the only four-legged furry critter I own, but when I was a kid, I had a gerbil that I really loved. So, and I will eventually, I'm probably more of a dog guy, and I think eventually I'm going to get a dog, I mean, right now it's not good. In an apartment here, it just can't do it, but, come hell or high water, I'm not going to say it's the dog or my wife. That's crazy, but, I have it in my mind that I'd like to get a dog. So, okay, enough of that. Let's get rid of kitten here. All right, see you later, bub. Yeah, anybody ask any questions? Yeah. Kelbo shots. Yeah, I can. Right. What a beautiful kitten. Right. A cat. Right. That's right, Adam. Right. Yeah, hi from Washington State. Big Unks Workshop. Let me check. I'm going to go back to the chats just quickly. I'm really sorry for that false start. I really wasn't that prepared. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. Yeah, so let's move on. Just another quick clip I want to show is this video clip. Stop it. Let me resize it quickly. This is my buddy in Taiwan. I remember I had showed those Anvil pictures from China, and he bought his and he received it. So it came a little bit quicker than he expected, and so he sent me this quick video clip, and he said, oh, it's kind of, he feels like it's soft, which we kind of thought it would be. And it's old, but it's very functional. So let me play that. So you can see he's giving you a nice 360-degree view. I would really love to have one of these. He said to me if I want, he'd bring this to me and let me use it and make a video. And then I could maybe give a review on that. And like I said, I can't hear this sound. And that's why I monkeyed around with my... I was monkeying around with the sound on this system because I couldn't hear that sound. And when he's tapping on the anvil, you can hear the ring. And I would like to hear that when I'm doing the live stream. But hey, that's the way it is. Yeah, let me get rid of that. Okay. All right. Anybody have a question? Yeah, that Bryson, that Toyota Tercel was like a Japanese tank. I mean, you couldn't, that thing would just, you know, go and go and go. It was a little four-banger. And I remember I was you know, I've only owned a few cars in my life because we've lived in Taiwan. There's no need to own a car in the city here. If I need a car, I'll just rent one. And when we first moved to the Northwest, we lived in Portland. And I bought that car, and I bought it for $800. So, right? That's nothing. The first car I owned when I was 17 years old, I got my license on Staten Island, and I bought a car for $150. And it was, we pushed it more than we drove it. So I remember it had a problem with the alternator. It would never recharge the battery, so you only get so far. And I mean, eventually I sorted it out. But yeah, and anyway, there's a lot of good memories back then when you're young and dumb and you don't care. And I had that for about a year or two when I was in high school. Maybe the earlier year, maybe like freshman year, I remember I had that. Oh, hey man, Brett, don't donate anymore, man. Forget it. I'm gonna have to do tons of donations in your name. Oh well, thank you. That's really big. And $50 goes a long way. 'Tis the season. Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. I wish I could be there in the States right now. You know, I'll be home for Christmas, right? But I guess only in my dreams right now. So, right. Hey, you made me lose my train of thought, right? Right. Hey, Super Pedro. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for the $5. Much appreciated. Yeah, so back to the cars. Yeah, so, and I remember that the car I had that I bought for $150 was an AMC Hornet. And the color was pea green. And I remember that my father, to this day, still doesn't let me live it down, is that I painted it black with a paintbrush with oil paint, and I put a red racing stripe down the middle. I remember the fastest that car ever went was 60 miles an hour. And I remember it vividly because I was driving one day on a pretty large road on Staten Island going home, and then this guy cut me off, and I don't know why. I was so angry, and I just wanted to get ahead of him, and it was 2 lanes, and I raced him, and I just floored the thing, and it was dangerous. You know, you shouldn't have done that on that road. It wasn't that big. And I remember I passed him just before I got to the light, which I considered to be the finish line. And I was thinking, holy crap, if this thing doesn't break up like a space shuttle re-entering orbit, I'd be lucky, you know. So, but yeah, I missed that car as well. I mean, I don't miss the pushing, but I missed that as well. And I remember, like I said, I had that just for 1 year, for freshman year in high school. And I remember some kids would always want to ride home. And so I would be welcome to that, because if it stalled out, if it ran out of juice, we would have to push. So, yeah, anyway, all right, enough of that. Let's move on. I've got a list here of what I want to say, so I better get on to it. Yeah, you know, if you saw my my video that I posted yesterday with making a tong with minimal tooling, or making a tong blank, it's always made me think that that seems to be more like my forte, and I was actually thinking of changing my name to the Minimalist Blacksmith. You know, it's better than probably GS Tongs, but yeah, so maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. And so what I wanted to say is that on that topic of blacksmithing with minimal tooling, is that I've always said this, and I don't think I've said this in a live stream, but I've said this, I've emailed this to people, is that in the thing when you're starting blacksmithing, or even if you are advanced, sometimes it's better to get back to basics. And so there's 4 things that you have to think about, especially when you're starting out. And that's, you need something to heat with, so a forge, right? Something to hold with. So most basic thing would be like a hand, or a gloved hand, or a tong if you got shorter lengths of steel. Something to hit on, anvil or an anvil-like object, and something to hit with a hammer. That's it. If you have those 4 things, you've got your bases covered. And then if you, depending on your skill level, on the techniques that you develop, you'll be able to take it. You'll be able to make any number of great items with just having those 4 things and having proper technique. So basically that's it. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. Also, another thing I want to touch on, I've got my notes. You know, if I don't have these notes, boy, oh boy, I don't know what I'd do. I'll check the comments quickly here. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I've often thought, like, you know, I'm an idiot. I should really branch out. I should rent a space and get better tooling, get a power hammer, get a hydraulic press, get this, get that, get bigger forge. But, you know, the reason I've gotten into blacksmithing is because of that minimalist aspect really appealed to my personality. And so I think if I made it more like it's for me, and if you watch that video, you'll tell, is that I really love working on stuff like that's very stripped down and basic. And so if I was to have every, you know, and I can afford to buy, if I wanted to buy those things, I could, but then I would feel a lot more pressure, I think. Then it would be more like it's a business. It's not just like I'm having fun, even though this is how I make my living, by selling my tongs and other tools. You know, I've always thought of it more as just a hobby and something I like to do. So if I make it into that, where it's more of a, you know, I'm branched out into doing bigger things, and I have a lot of equipment I have to take care of, and I have a space I have to rent, or maybe I have to move back to the States and buy a bigger property where I can operate on a larger scale, then it could become, yeah, that could be wonderful. And I might reach out to a lot more people, but in my opinion, it might become drudgery for me at the end, because it's not who I am mostly. So, but I do really admire the equipment. And in fact, I'll actually, let me post this real quick, another quick video. This is, let me resize it. You know, I always go to the Machinist to get some stuff done. Hey, oh, Craig Jardine, thank you. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. 20 bucks Canadian, that's a lot of dough, bro. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Anyone who donates now, I'll give you a, typically I will give another shout out in an upcoming video as well, because I just really want to thank people who donate. It's not necessary to donate to watch, obviously. I always say that, you know, watching is support enough, but donating does really help a lot. And you ask any YouTuber who's out there, I was very hesitant to do this, the Patreon thing, and to set up this, but you know, I feel like now that I see that it's definitely something that it's necessary. Otherwise, you'd see my face a lot less, which maybe, you know, I mean, you know, maybe my wife would appreciate that, but maybe you guys wouldn't. So, yeah, so back to what I was showing here. Thanks again, Craig. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So I often go to the Machinist for my guillotine tool, which I'm now starting to call just a fullering tool. I don't know why I'm sick of saying guillotine or guillotine or whatever. I don't know why. Yeah, just the whole thing with head lopping. I'm just kind of get away from that. So, and he was helping me I needed to have a hardy shank made to a specific size. And so he just was, and I just quickly gave it to him, and he just used his surface grinder. And I love watching stuff like this. I love that kind of tooling, but I like watching it maybe more than using. So let's play that quick clip. So I find it mesmerizing to watch that tool, especially this tool. And you know, I don't know, someone out there maybe could answer this, is that, you know, he's got this little piece there and he's grinding it down to shape, and then when he wants to remove it, he had to get a wrench to actually pull it off. And I was thinking maybe that bed is magnetic, or it seemed like because there's so much liquid, maybe there's some kind of surface tension on that bed. I don't know. You know, I was going to ask him, but I just was kind of in a rush. So if anyone knows the answer to that, let me know. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Brooks Martin says, hey, Glenn, if you had, say, 3 tongs, what kind would they be? They would all be GS tongs. No, right? Well, the style of tong, I know that's what you mean. Right. I would say, see, this really depends on what you do. And here's another thing that I always, it's in my head because I always repeat this to people who are maybe starting out, or maybe that they just want to purchase some tongs, is that think about the stock sizes and shapes you're going to use, how you need to hold, and how your work pieces will change shape as you progress, and that will give you a really good idea. So for me, if I could only have 3, I would have a pickup style tong, because I like to have short tongs, so I need one longer tong. Oh, big unk. You're breaking my train of thought with that big donation. That's really, really, really generous. Thank you. $50 is a lot of money. Thank you, my friend. Merry Christmas. So I'd have to have a pickup tong because I need that longer length to reach into my forge. And because, you know, I like to use short tongs for forging. And why do I use the short tongs? Just easier to manipulate, less fatigue on my arm, and because I work in a seated position, longer tongs and my leg wouldn't mate up. It would be hitting my knee and it would just be a pain. So yeah, sometimes you want to have a longer tong if you work on a big workpiece because of the heat, but I typically don't work on stuff that's very big, and if I work on hammers and the like, I just need to get the workpiece from the forge to my anvil. I typically won't hold while I'm working. I just use a punch or something else to, you know, use tension on the piece while I'm hammering. So the pickup tong, so I can get the stuff to where I want. And one tong I use a lot is my bent knee round tong, which would be size for my tongs, which is about 14 millimeter round. Normally, that's what I use for tongs. So, and I just like, that's my favorite style of tong, is the bent knee style, just because you don't have to hold from one end or the other. And then the final tong is, I think now I would say I would get my flat farrier style. It's versatile because let's say you working on something like flat stock and you don't have a lot of money to purchase a lot of tongs, or you don't want to, then what that will do is a flat tong only holds according to thickness. And so you don't have to worry about the width of your stock. And because most tongs hold within a range, but if the size is smaller, then comparatively the range is bigger. So what I mean is, if you had that tong for 1/4 of an inch, you could probably get it down to 1/8 of an inch, and you could probably go up to maybe 5/16, maybe 3/16 to 5/16. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot compared to the small size that it is. So I would say those 3. So there you go. Yeah, thanks. You are spreading the love, my friend. Big Unk. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, repeat this again, not necessary to donate. Appreciate everyone who watches, but donations, yeah, I understand that, you know, not everyone can reach in their pocket and donate, and so that's fine. But if you do, I do appreciate that. And I'll mention this now, so because I've gotten so many nice donations, is that my next giveaway, which should be in a few days, is going to be just for donators only, just to be a little bit more equitable. I think I mentioned that before. So look out for that. Anyone who's donated here in this live stream, anyone who's a Patreon supporter or donates through PayPal, or anyone who has donated in the last, let's say, month or so, you'll be entered in that drawing, no problem. So you'll have a better chance because it won't be like hundreds of people. You know, it'll be, you know, maybe let's say 50 people. So look out for that. All right, let me get back to this. Check this off. Yeah, another thing I want to say, it's in my notes before I forget, because I wanted to say it in the last live stream, is a while, maybe 2 weeks ago, no, maybe a month ago now, a friend of the channel, Dan Safford, had said that, oh, he gave, his friend came over, and the wife of the friend was looking at the hammer and the tongs that I made for him that he had just received, and she kept holding the tong, and she said, oh, it makes her feel good. She doesn't know why. She doesn't want to let it go. And yeah, that's kind of makes me feel great. And, you know, you could start to wonder about why that is. It just maybe just, I don't know, just the feel was smooth or something like that. But the point I wanted to make is that I do think that when you hand make an item, that you can transfer some, maybe a little bit of your essence into that piece. And so maybe that's, you know, I mean, yeah, thinking in that kind of a way, maybe, you know, maybe some people would laugh and say that's silly, but I feel like if you're, sometimes when I'm working on a piece for someone, and even I don't know that person, I sometimes think of their name, and I think about like how they might use this tong or that hammer or whatever it is, and I think that maybe like I said, you know, we all have kind of an energy, and some energy gets transferred into that piece, and that person can feel good about that tool. You know, maybe it's not the best tool in the world, but maybe they feel like somehow it has a good feel to it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say on that point. And then I want to tie that into where you might also see a connection is like home cooked food. And so this is where I give my wife a lot of credit. She likes to cook, and she says it's healthier and better. And I do feel that, you know, she's a good cook, of course. And a lot of the food she makes, though, my body feels better with it than if I eat outside. Is it more nutritious? I don't know, but maybe there's some love that's transferred from that food to my stomach. And so it just makes you feel good. So compare that with if you purchase, let's say you take the same few ingredients and it's a mass-produced item, food item, somehow it doesn't taste the same, or it doesn't give you that same good feeling, in my opinion. So yeah, so there you go. I hope my wife is watching. I said some nice things about your cooking, which I should. All right, check that off. Move on. All right, now the main part of this live stream. Yeah, hi, Sonny. Merry Christmas. Hold on a sec. I need to get a sip of coffee here. By the way, my wife, speaking of the food, my wife's kind of not hounding me, but yeah, she's hounding me because she's been doing for a while that 16-8 intermittent fasting diet, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't really believe in fad diets. But, you know, she goes to the gym and exercises, and so do I. And you know, I've said I like my yoga and this and that. And I try to eat healthy, like I said, because I eat at home mostly. Good stuff that she makes. And so, but she kept swearing by this. She's been doing it for about, let's say, 6 months now. And I did notice a big difference in her body shape and her energy levels, so like through the roof. I have to tell her, stop like doing things, you know, relax. She'll come home after work and just goes bananas. You know, still working in the house. So, you know, I guess, you know, I should be appreciative for that, but I wish she would slow down sometimes. So she says, she always tells me every morning, you got to try this, you got to try this, you got to try it. And so finally I said, okay, I'll give it a go, but maybe kind of my own version, because I can skip breakfast. I've always been that way. Like, I don't really feel super hungry in the morning, so that's not a problem. So, you know, so I've started doing that for about a few days now, and I feel fine. You know, I haven't had breakfast, and I won't eat. My last meal I have about like 6:30 in the evening, and I wake up really early, probably like 4:35, and I'll go to, for me right now, I'll go to about 10 or 11. So it's maybe not quite 16 hours, maybe like, let's say 15. But it's really, I'm not really doing it maybe because in my coffee I still put a little bit of milk. So, you know, that probably kills it, according to the people who have invented this. And I don't, honestly, I think that, you know, yeah, you are what you eat, but I think that I don't really believe in fad diets so much, but I do believe in maybe, you know, eating when you're hungry only, not eating just because you know, you say, hey, the time's up, I gotta eat. So yeah, give it a go. I'll let you guys know how I feel. All right, move on. Let's see. Yeah, this is the main crux, the main point of this live stream, and I'll get this over. Ta-da. Stop a sec. Let me just resize this. I just want to resize it so I can see myself. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, because it's right, Craig. The food's made with love. You know, you feel it. You feel the difference. So, love is energy that seldom can be overshadowed. Right. I believe, right. I don't know what, you know, from the movies, all right, love can conquer all, right? And I do believe that's true. So, you know, there's a lot of things in life. You know, I'm trying to be like a more positive person. I feel like when I was much younger, I was much more negative, and I've changed over time. And then so people, like some people who I know, family members and friends who maybe haven't changed, it's very obvious to me now, that, wow, you like wallowing in negativity is really bad. And so I think that it's good, no matter your circumstances, you can't curse the world all the time. It's just like, we'll be gone soon enough. We'll all be dead and nobody will care. So it's better to try to smile and enjoy your time rather than to always be mired in sad feelings and feeling like the world's out to get you and that kind of thing. And so even if, like for me, like if you just verbalize and say like, this jerk or that or whatever, and things are pissing you off, sometimes you got to be careful because that can manifest. And maybe you don't really feel that in your heart that that person's a jerk or that the situation is bad or that you're so pitiable. But if you keep saying that, then that might become reality. And I really do believe that's true. So it's kind of like you are what you eat, and maybe you are what you speak as well. All right, so The big thing about things now is this. The big thing with me is that about a week ago, so I was hammering, and normally I would normally not start before like 8:30, let's say, but I had to get something done, and so I wanted to get going and get my day going, and I wanted to make sure I could make my yoga class, which was early, and so I started about like 7:30, and then a neighbor below me, not directly below, but just adjacent, I know the landlord pretty well. And so she complained to him, saying that, hearing this like ding, ding, ding noise. And it's like, and he sent me what she wrote. And my Chinese is improved enough that I understood exactly what it was. And so, this complaint felt different than in the past. And so I thought I'd better hurry up and like figure this out. And so, I promised the landlord that I would sort it out. And the main thing is I wouldn't start before, let's say, 9:30 or even closer to 10. So I'll just organize. I'm such an early riser. I just want to get stuff done. But in my situation where I'm operating, I have to be very careful. So, so I've been sticking to that to later. But more than that, I kept examining like how my anvils are set up and all these rubber mats I've got them on and everything else in the wooden platform. And I noticed that what I noticed is that I had it set up on a lot of mats, and then I had a wooden platform about yay thick, and that I think that the wooden platform, because it was butted up against the wall, was transferring vibration into the wall. And now if you've been in one of these buildings like we're in here, it's this brick and concrete structure that's connected basically right down to the road. When a truck passes by, it vibrates the building. So I was thinking, maybe my hammering, because of that being butted up against the wall, is somehow making that what doesn't seem to be a big sound, but vibrate into the walls. If anyone ever does anything like hangs a picture and just taps on the wall on the second floor, I'd hear it on the 5th floor. So I had to do something. So basically, let's look at this. I don't remember what I filmed. So let's look at it. Yeah, so you can see here is what I've done. I'll stop that. I removed that wooden platform, and I had to go get I wanted to go see if I could get some kind of sound or vibration proofing materials. And so here you can see that's the platform, that laminated platform that I made that I've been using forever. And so, I took that away and just set my anvils there. And so see, like I'm knocking the wall because I thought like that little that platform was just transferring vibration too easily. Wood, in my experience with that stump anvil as well, it transfers sound and vibration very easily. So another thing is in the comments here, if anyone has had like a similar situation where they can't they can't hammer in a certain location, or they have to be quiet, or they had complaints from neighbors, please let me know. Let us know. Hey, Wolf Party. Hello, good people. Hello to you as well. Yeah, and just quickly, I see it says getting rid of negativity is very hard. It's like looking for a black cat in a dark room with no windows. Wow, that's very well said, even though I said that very quickly. Kevin Rogers, how high is your forge off the floor? I would say 1.5 feet. And I have it at a height where it's about like at my hip. So, because I'm seated. And so this way I'll be able to reach over. You'll see it. You'll see my forge in one of these video clips I've got going here today. So, hey, Dwayne. How's it going? So anyway, let's get back onto this clip here and see what else I've filmed. So see that material. So though I bought 2 new mats, so I was gonna buy, that thickness is about like in, maybe it's those are 2-inch thick mats, and they're made from recycled rubber. But I was gonna buy one that was a solid one, but man, it was really expensive in that size. And so I thought, I don't know if that would help so much, so I'll get a couple of these first and some other stuff. And so I went to this local hardware store where I bought this. Well, they specialize in this kind of material. And when I explained to the boss, who was a real kind woman, what I needed, she pointed me, I think, in the right direction. So you'll see that material right there. So that silver material, she said, is a new kind of sound and vibration proofing material. And so she told me, put this at the very bottom on the floor with the silver facing down. And she said she thinks that would help, and make sure that you overlap it. And then the blue stuff she just gave me for free, that's wood flooring underlayment, soundproofing underlayment. And she said, yeah, you might try that as well. So, yeah, so this material here, like I said, I've been hammering for a few days, and I don't know if that's going to make such a difference. Maybe it's in my head, but definitely without the wooden platform, it's made a big difference. And so I haven't heard any complaints, which that's good. And I think that, you know, I've got to just be vigilant and be careful. I don't want to, let me stop that. Yeah, I don't, the thing is, I don't want to move right now. If I move, I want to move back to the States. I don't think I want to move here in Taiwan. Again, it would just be so much of a hassle. So, yeah, let me get rid of that. Yeah, so, swages. Yeah, hi, Scott. No, the Anvil blocks with the swages, they are custom made. I mean, they're my designs that I had made in Taiwan here. You know, so, yeah, a lot of people inquire about them. And I was, at one point, I was selling one style, but it was just too difficult. There's just too much. The logistics are very difficult. The overhead is so high with the heat treat and everything that if you add in the cost of shipping, it just made it really tough. So it's something that a guy like me, a one-man operation, just really hard to do, especially, you know, that I'm living in the 5th floor here and I've got to transport anvils up and down or whatever. It's just too much. So, yeah, and again, yeah, Brett Thompson, thanks again, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Yeah. Don McLean, your videos helped me make my first tongs. That makes me very happy. Very glad about that. Like in the last video I just posted, if you see what I'm doing, you know, some people have been critical saying, well, you're saying how to make a tong, but you didn't really explain it. And yeah, I made mistakes in the past where, you know, hey, you know, this is YouTube, you know, this is not, you know, I'm not on network TV, you know. So, and you know, if someone can take what they see, or if I give instruction when I do, and it helps them make a tong, you know, and that they can use, then hey, I'm super happy. But I'm also happy if you want to, if you feel like, a lot of guys who watch me, they can make tongs, but maybe they want to buy some because they want to support me. Hey, that makes me feel happy as well. Obviously, that makes me feel happy. So yeah, I always like to, I'm kind of guy like, I like to earn my way. So yeah, all right. So let's move on now. So what did I do? So all right, I took the platform away, and then let's go on to the next video here. Just give me 1 second to get this resized. Okay. All right. Yeah, so you remember that button head rivet simple bracket thing that I did just to show making the button head rivets. I figured I'll just make a quick bracket out of that. I'll just hammer on it basically just to try without the wooden bracket and without the wooden platform and without anything else, and see how that goes. So you know, by the way, I'm assuming you guys can hear these clips, because like I said, I can't. So if you cannot hear the clip, then let me know. But it's not crucial. I mean, you might not be able to tell the difference in the sound anyway. So right away, to me, I hear more. It's more of a tap 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 sound rather than a thunk 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 like that. So, and this is a small piece as well. But here's the thing: is that nowadays you're going to see my anvil shake, rattle, and roll, and not much I can do about it for the time being. It doesn't bother me. yeah, when I'm hammering, it doesn't bother me. But when I look back on when I make a video and then look at it, I'm like, wow, everything is shaking around. So I'm sure I'll hear it from the critics, but hey, that's the way it is. Yeah, so right away I know that, like I said, this is going to make a difference. And so, yeah, anyway, you watch this and I'll look at the, I'll continue to look at the comments here. Yeah, Arik Craft, I as well, my first Crucible tongs. Yeah, if I'm assuming you're saying that maybe I helped you, yeah, that's great. Appreciate it. Maybe your neighbors may want you to try padding under your hammer. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think they would prefer I just move. Right. You know, the thing too is people here, man, they're loud. You know, so it's like you know, I shouldn't say that because not everyone is, but I mean, you know, I've got to do my part. Can't like I won't just land-based people. I'll try to do my part and be as quiet as possible. So, you know, here I rotate my anvil around. I haven't used it in so long on the bottom or on the sides, and so you can see it's a bit rusted there. My little block anvils here, they're heat treated top to bottom, so I could use any surface. And like I said, on this one here, it's been a long time since I turned it over. Obviously, I'm punching holes here. I've got the hand of, you know, the gloved hand of doom. Like, it's just always in the way. So just ignore that. That'll pass pretty quick. Yeah, sparks from rubber. Well, I'm not concerned maybe from sparks from the rubber, but I'm concerned when a piece drops and then you start to smell that burning rubber. So I'm actually thinking of something else, some kind of foil or something, maybe on the right below the anvil, so that this way that'll catch anything, that, you know, any rivet slugs or anything like that. The tone is, yeah, you can hear, and the tone is definitely different. Yeah, that's great that you point that out. I appreciate that, Crawford, because I noticed it myself. And I think that, like I said, it's going to make a big difference, I think. And this is without me putting any of that soundproofing stuff there. And now here's another thing I was thinking about, is that because everything is much lower, and I think that also helps because it helps to keep me below the wall that's behind me that you can't see, because if I go up higher, I think that the sound has a chance to echo out more. There's less stuff around to break up the sound. So, but you'll see that when I put everything back in place, get it back to my normal height, I think it's a little bit louder then. So, hey, High Desert Forge and Ironworks, how are you there? Yeah, so, let me see here. You know what I got to do is, just give me 1 sec. I got to plug in my computer. It's running out of power. Right. Zip. All right. Juiced up. Yeah, so there it is. That's the, just quickly fool around to finish that bracket out. And just so I can, you know, like I said, test out the sound without the wooden platform. So, yeah, let's get rid of that. Minus that. Yes, and then I'll show you quick here the completed bracket. Stop. Resize. Shoo. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. And then, so this is where I just, you know, put the bracket just to hang a handle punch on. So if you wanted to make something similar, pretty simple. No fuss, no muss. I'll let that play out. It's only a few more seconds. Hello, Robert Simmons. How are you there? Hello from Northern California. Well, hello from Taipei. Yeah, so let me get rid of that. Let me check the comments here. It's Jim Talbot. You're bending jigs on my wish list. Yeah, whenever you want it, just let me know. You know, the shipping has been, I would say it's been pretty reliable, but slow. You know, it's just, instead of taking normal standard postal airmail, used to take about 9 days, and now it seems like 14 days. And with the holidays, it could be a little bit more. So, but, you know, with that, it can be tracked, and also, you know, we can always keep an eye on where it's at. All right, let me look at my notes here to see what else I got to do. Yeah, so, and what I wanted to add about this with the problem with the neighbor and the noise is that it's okay, because like every now and then I need to have a reset with my blacksmithing. And, you know, it's kind of like, maybe, sometimes people will like change their wardrobe, or some people will just change their room, move the furniture around. They just need to have, just to refresh things a bit. So every now and then because my workspace is so small, I'll clean things out and then work and see what I don't need and get rid of that. And just kind of like I said, a little bit of a restart. So yeah. And so that complaint then actually, like I said, what would be a negative and maybe it made me feel really down, like I start to think about it, try to think about it in a more positive way and say, hey, this could, help me in other ways and help me to be maybe think about my setup in a different way that can help my creativity some. Yeah, so check that off, check that off, check that off. Uh-oh. Yeah, got a few more things. So yeah, Peter Conti, you just got the bending jig. Great. Yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate the recommendation. I hope it works well for you. And like I said, if anybody has any questions, you don't have to feel any obligations to purchase anything. But if you email me with any questions about stuff, that's no problem. Feel free. Feel free to answer your questions. All right. Yeah, Jim, you're one of the few people that has the hot shear. I only sold like 2 of those, I think, because I don't know. It just seemed it was one of those items, kind of like the Anvil, where it's a bit heavier. And even though I tried to trim down the weight some, and it was something where I think like most people, they have other means to cut steel. But for me personally, I use mine all the time for my rivets. And so, yeah, you're one of the few people that has one. I still do have maybe enough to make like 3 of those shears. So if anyone wanted one of those rivet hot shears, it's not leveraged or anything. It's just use it by, heating your steel and then hammering on the shear to, just use your hammering force to cut the steel. So smaller stock. It could be used with up to 1/2 inch, but that's probably pushing it a bit. If you're using stuff that's like 3/8 and below, it's no problem at all. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Dan, right. I'm going to have to change my intro. No more ding, 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 right. It should just be like, just whispering, right? Right. Like I said, I might change my channel to the Minimalist Blacksmith, so we'll see about that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just thinking about that to kind of maybe give myself a little bit more distinction from the others out there. Say like, hey, some people who come at me, come to the channel new, they probably think like, wow, this guy, like, maybe he's got okay skills, but like, why is he operating in such a simplistic way? So maybe that would make that more clear to people right off the bat. It's kind of like you see these videos with people who do primitive skills or whatever, and they're trying to do what they can with just what's available without, going out to wherever to buy this and to buy that. So yeah. All right, let's move on. What's next? Yeah, another thing too is that I think a lot of people, and I've felt this as well, is that at least in Taiwan, well, everywhere actually, is the cost of steel has gone up quite a bit. So that also leads me to think like, yeah, there's, if you can recycle steel for projects and stuff, which a lot of you guys already do anyway, that's also a great thing. Repurpose items, which you see tons of videos on that kind of thing I'll probably do more of coming up as well. What I've noticed is that, and maybe you guys can let me know, is that the price of carbon steel, straight, 10 series steels, hasn't really gone up too much. So that hasn't affected me for like the tongs and like that. But it's the tool and alloy steels. Like wherever you have to have alloying elements like chromium added, the price has really gone up quite a bit. And I think that has a lot to do with how international trade has been and different problems with container shipping and all of that nonsense. So, and here, one thing that's really, I don't use a lot of, but, I was speaking to someone and they said it's through the roof, is stainless steel. I think they said stainless steel went up 5 times its price just from 6 months ago. So it's just really bananas. And so a lot of people are feeling the pinch in that way. So, you got to do what you can do. So that's why we're blacksmiths, right? All right, so let's move on. Yeah, I did mention the giveaway for donators. I'll just repeat that, is that coming up soon, next few days or so, look out for another giveaway for donators. That'll be courtesy of me. And then also look out for Brett Thompson, I have to do another giveaway in his name. And I'm probably going to have to do another given his donation today and his donation the last time. So, you know, that will be for anyone. You're open to anyone, whether you donate or not. So, like I said, I want to try to be fair to the people who do donate. So, next giveaway, donators only. All right, check that off. Yeah, so then here I'll show you now that since I figured periodically, because where I am out on the roof here of this 5th floor, I have to clean the floor that I'm working on, because it starts to get if I grind and stuff like that or scale and there's a lot of water that'll come in from rain or wherever, it'll create like a rust stains on the floor. And so I found that I use a kind of an acid, and you know, I said to myself, I got to check the name of it, but I didn't check it. I forgot. It's not, I don't think it's oxalic acid. It's called I'll have to check it and I'll tell you guys next time. If someone knows, it's called cao suan in Chinese. Cao suan. I don't know. It's not a very strong acid, but it's very good for something like rust stains on tiles or concrete and like that. And I get that at a local chemical store, which is, you know, you got everything. And like, the one thing about Taipei, it's so convenient, is that, you know, within a bicycle ride, I can get all of these different things. So, yeah, so basically what I had to do is, in order to put down that underlayment and the new mats and everything, I thought, okay, I'll clean the floor as well, which I periodically do. It didn't need it as much, though, this time around. So let's play that video. So you can see a little bit here. Kind of see how it's got those rust stains. Yeah, and I always check the slag tub. It doesn't need it now. Usually there's a thick layer of scale in there, but there's not, so I don't need to dump that out. Hey, Tim, thank you for the $10. Really appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you. So this, let me stop that. See there, it says, in Chinese, that says cao suan. And I don't know why, like, I just skipped my mind to think, I'll check it next time. Yeah, it's something similar to oxalic acid, something like that. So, continue to play. We check the time. Whoa, we're getting close to an hour already. Yeah, so, okay, I've removed everything. You can see it's kind of dirty, the wall's dirty, but it's not as dirty as it normally would be for me to clean it. And so you can see, luckily my wife's at work. You know, I moved all the stuff, or some of the stuff inside, you know, just to get it out of my way, because I got to hose everything down. So here you'll see, like, I broke out my hose, and I had to run around the back to turn that on. The faucet's way in the back. And then I'll come in here. Soon you'll see me come into the picture. Yeah, thanks again, Tim. That's really a big donation. Appreciate it. So normally it was a pretty good weather day, so hose everything down. And then I'll dump that acid on and scrub it. So you can see me here, monkeying around, dumping that on the floor. Scrub away. I'm like Cinderella, you know, like scrubbing the floor. I don't know why I don't have a handle on that brush. You know, I guess I'm Cinderfella. So, yeah. So if you scrub with this stuff on those rust stains and you let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then you hose it down again, it does a great job of cleaning that up. And once it's all dried, it becomes much more light in color. Gets rid of those stains. So here I want to show you quick, I'll stop that, I was always pretty flexible, but I'm become way more flexible now because of yoga class, and especially like in a squatting position. And look, I know I'm a short guy, okay? I know I've got short legs or whatever, but, you know, I've definitely got good open hips now, as you can see here. So, you gotta brag a little bit, right? Yeah, so now you can see here, it's done. And I'll stop it there. You can see it looks rusted towards where the slag tub is, but that's just wet. When it dries, it'll be similar to how it looks closer towards where the anvils are there, which is much cleaner. It didn't really need it so much to be cleaned, but like I said, it is much cleaner, and if you were here in person, you'd know that. And so now I've got everything in place. I've got that soundproofing underlayment there, the wood flooring underlayment, and all the mats that you could want. So, and everything is just free standing there, nothing tied down to vibrate into something like the wall. So, I'll give that, so the way that's set up now, I give it one more try, just monkeying around. I'll start on a tong, and I'll work on also that chisel that I had made. I just wanted to reshape that a bit, so I'll show that. Yeah, I'll check the comments quick. You just check that off. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, wife likes it clean better. Yeah, she's kind of neither here nor there about that, about my space. But yeah, for sure. You know, where I am here, I kind of constantly have to sweep up and clean up. And everyone always comments and saying, whoa, your space is so pristine. Your anvils are so nice. But it's because the limited space I have to be fastidious about keeping stuff organized, and relatively clean. Yo, Roy, what's going on there? Hi, Christ-Centered Ironworks. Hey, by the way, this morning I watched your thing on the Harbor Freight anvils, the case hardening one. I really enjoyed the last one where you tried to harden it, and then that just completely destroyed the anvil, and then you did the case hardening, and I like those. I like those videos a lot. Doing a great job, my friend. Keep it up. You know, and every time, like I said, if my wife sees Roy's live stream, she's like, oh, this guy is so professional. I'm like, yeah, no joke, right? So, yeah, maybe I better not show her your videos anymore. And also another thing, too, Roy, man, that beard is really getting long, my friend, right? Come on, man. Got to shave a little bit every now and then. Yeah, anyway, no, just however you like it is great. I know it's a lot colder where you are. Yeah, well, alrighty. What do I want to say? Yeah, oh, okay, so yeah, the final thing about the final video clip, right, you got me all like flustered here, is this here. So now, I'll stop that and resize it real quick. And another thing I want to restate while I'm fooling around with this is that I'm going to, hey, Jay Lucas, thank you. Merry Christmas for the $10. I really appreciate it. It's a big help. Santa Claus has come to me early with all these big donations. I really like it, and I really appreciate it, and I'll do my best moving forward, especially with the videos and the live streams, everything I can. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, oh, you remember the uneven bevel chisel that I used to slit open a hammer eye? So I wanted to... It actually is not as thin as I had wanted it to be, so I figured just to test this out, and that's sitting in front of me, I'll hammer on that because I wanted to reshape it, and I wanted to even the bevel on each side too. And I want to use that then on another hammer I'm going to make coming up soon in a video, another Japanese style hammer that I'm going to make out of YK30 steel, which I mentioned that in another video, but that's coming up soon as well. So let's play this clip. Yeah, we're getting past an hour, so we better get it on here. Check the comments. So here I notice maybe less of a difference as far as the sound and vibration with compared to the button head rivet bracket. And I think partially that's because of maybe I'm hammering a little bit harder, and also because of I have everything higher. I just felt when it was lower, sound was being broken up a little bit more. So I may remove one of those 2-inch mats. And so, like I said, my anvil, call it your anvil-like object, whatever you want to call it, swage block, it's definitely, you know, doing a bit of a jiggle, but doesn't bother me at all. So now I've done that, and I'll fool around on a tong blank. I'll just start a blade tong, you know, because that's something that I normally work on. It's 14 millimeter round, and so that'll give me a good indication as well. So with the blade style tongs, I always forge out the jaw first. And so basically that's what I'll just do in this clip right here. Check the comments here. I'll write something while you're watching that. Yeah, I better not. Right, if I add one of these emoji things, I know something's gonna go haywire. Yeah, so let's go back. Yeah, so basically, hey, did I miss anything? Yeah, so there it is. That's how it's set up for now. In the few videos that are coming up, you'll see me using it in this manner, and so we'll see how that goes. Maybe, like I said, I'll probably put a video in there of me maybe finishing out this blade tong. Hey Roy, Merry Christmas to you too as well. I've got to catch your next live stream. Thank you for the $10. You know, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and hope to see everyone in 2022 coming up soon. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I saw that you commented on my latest video as well, so appreciate that you like that. Thank you, my friend. Look out for the 300 NT coming your way soon. All right. Yeah, so that's basically that. So, yeah, I do notice a difference. Got the thumbs up there. Thumb of approval. Just like Dragon Stone Gem and Ironworks Crawford, right? Thumbs up. So let's remove that. Yeah. I shall remove. Yeah, so let's see. What else I want to say here? Okay. All right, that's done. Yeah, you know, let me see how many people are hanging around still. I think maybe I'll just fool around and tell a story from back in the day just to end this out. You know, give you a Christmas tale. No, it's not a Christmas story. Let's see. Yeah, there's still quite a few people. So, or it says concurrent viewers. How many there? Let me see. Playback, concurrent. Okay, yeah, there's probably enough people. I don't know. I can't figure this stuff out. And like I said, I do apologize for the sound issue in the beginning. I would probably in the beginning, you only miss me saying hello, or whatever. So no worries there. You know, so, you know, what I want to say is that you see here where I says the Glen Hot Steel Hustler, and I always joke around saying I'm a hustler. Well, I think a lot of it comes from when I was young, and, you know, I was always hustling around. You know, I didn't have much money. With our family didn't. Well, we had money, but my dad used to gamble it away. You know, so I love my dad, but, you know, he's had his issues in the past. You know, but I don't need to go into that. So it's not a big deal. But so even when I was a teen, I was always working. And from when I was about like 14 to 15, I would have like restaurant jobs, like a busboy and stuff like that. And the first maybe real job I had where it was like consistent and a lot of hours was I used to work in a pharmacy. And that was when I was in high school, probably like from my sophomore year to senior year. So close to 3 years, maybe not quite 3 years. And so reason I'm mentioning that is, you know, and back in the day, pharmacies like on Staten Island and like they were in other places were not big chain stores like CVS or Walgreens or something like that. They were normally just a family-owned business. And so I worked for this one shop, and main job was, well, part of the job was delivery, because we would deliver medications to old people who couldn't get out, who were homebound or whatever. And so I did that. Literally, I worked about 35 hours a week when I was in high school. So I didn't have a lot of time for homework back then, you know. I would leave school. It was about like 2. We would get out of school at 2 o'clock, I remember. I went to an all-boys high school, by the way, a Catholic school, St. Peter's. So back on Staten Island, which was, you know, a good time, you know. I mean, not great just looking at guys, but, you know, when you're that young, maybe it's okay. Yeah. So at any rate, so I had this job working in the pharmacy, and so the main duties were to work the cash register and help with filling prescriptions and typing up labels and stuff like that. And I remember I was there, I just had a knack for it. I never believed in like, oh, maybe I should be a pharmacist, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but the pharmacist always said like, oh, you know, you should study to become a pharmacist. You've got a knack for this, like that, because if you look at prescriptions, then doctors will write and they'll scribble, so it's hard to read, and then they'll also use a code. There's a special kind of a code for prescriptions that you have to know, and I learned that like backwards and forwards, like about like what this means and what that means, and how, and what the instructions that the doctor gave, and like that. So, you know, so basically became really good at that, and we would do our deliveries. And like I said, I worked 35 hours a week. I would run from school. I would have an extra sandwich ready to go. I ate so many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches during high school. You know, who knows how many I ate. And I would have an extra one. I'd eat one at lunch, and then I'd have an extra one. I'd eat it as I would have to walk to the pharmacy and start work at 3. And it worked 3 to 8. And then we also worked Saturdays. So I remember it was like about 35 hours a week. And I liked the job. I did. I appreciated it, and I liked it, and I needed the money. You know, when you're younger and you need money, you know, you got to do something. And I remember like my pay, I started, I literally, I'm not even exaggerating. I got like, it was like $3.73 an hour. And like the pharmacist was, I don't want to say he was cheap, but he was like kind of frugal or whatever. Okay, call him cheap, all right, if you want. And he would raise your pay like every like 6 months by like 13 cents. I think when I left there, I was at like $4.23 or something like that. It's crazy, you know, but we would get paid weekly, so that was great. And, you know, so we get paid in cash, so that's also another thing that would be great. You know, so, yeah, anyway, the point of the story is that growing up on Staten Island was it was wild, but it was fun. You know, I think I've written something else down about it. Oh, yeah, we had, so, you know, I would fill those, you know, fill prescriptions, work the checkout counter, and that helped me with mathematics because he was like, he had a cash register that you had to figure out the change yourself. You know, you could just tally up, but you couldn't like deduct from when the person paid you how much they paid you. So that helped me a lot with like figuring out figures and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe that's why the donation sparked my interest. When I see figures, it makes me, you know, perk up a bit. So, yeah, so at any rate, so we would deliver stuff, and we would deliver in a mail truck. It was an old mail truck that he painted and used for the business, so it was cool to drive on the wrong side, like as if I was like in jolly old England or something. And then when we had snowstorms, man, people would be skidding out and going this way and that way, and those mail trucks were like, just like my little Toyota, they were like tanks in the snow. They could just keep going and going. And so that was really a fun thing to drive. And then eventually he didn't change the oil in the thing for the 3 years I worked there. And then the engine went kaput, and then he bought like a little Honda Civic. And that was even more, that was fun to drive, that for sure. But you wouldn't want to plow that through the snow, but it was pretty fun to drive. So, and then another thing too is that, yeah, so one last thing I want to say about the pharmacy is that there was a period where his son, who lived in Utah, the pharmacist's son, he got injured in a car accident. And then he had to, the pharmacist had to go and help him. It was very serious. And so his wife would help in the pharmacy, but she was not a pharmacist. And she was kind of, I mean, I don't want to be, I try to be kind, but she was kind of ditzy and a real nice woman. But so, and in order for him to run the pharmacy still, he had to have a registered pharmacist in the pharmacy. And so he just got this old guy who was retired, who had a pharmacist's license. And man, between the wife and then him, he was like, he had Alzheimer's or something. He was just like in space, like he just stand there, literally. And so she would be like, I would come in from high school and come in, and it was crazy. Like, and I was literally at that point was mixing medications and filling I was filling all the prescriptions. I was mixing like amoxicillin and counting all the pills and getting everything ready and typing everything up. And because she was just like, she couldn't keep up with it, and he was just standing there. He just was a man with a license with you know, like 3 brain cells in his head left. You know, so, you know, and so it was kind of, I remember when the pharmacist came back, and I think his wife must have conveyed that because he gave me a little bit of a bonus, which was very, very thoughtful of him. So, yeah, so I had a good time. You know, like I was saying, maybe it was not easy working and running around trying to go to school and this and that, but it was also, you know, there's a lot of rewarding things from that as well. Met a lot of interesting people, had coworkers that I worked with there who were also pretty fun and interesting people. So, yeah, so basically that's that. Yeah, all right. I think it's coming up on pretty much like an hour and 15 minutes or so. So, yeah, anybody want to say anything else, please let me know. Comment here. Yeah, bar, run, forge, need to head out. Yeah, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Paul, and everyone out there. Yeah, I think I'm still live, so let me just take a quick check on that. Yeah, I am. Yeah, but I'll end this now. And yeah, Kennard Christensen, yeah, Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year. And I appreciate everyone who's donated. Man, come on, Roy. The heck, you know I'm going to have to just send this back to you. If you know, I do like the confirmation that you like these stories, and I've got tons more to come. So yeah, stick around and you'll hear more. Especially like I had said, that growing up on Staten Island, it really was an experience. I mean, everyone has experiences wherever they live, but back in the day on Staten Island, it was kind of it's probably still a little bit rough, but it was a rough town. But I've got great stories that I'm going to tell. You know, there were a lot of kooky people that lived in my neighborhood, kids and adults and otherwise. So I could tell a quick little story regarding that. Is I remember there was this crazy guy in our neighborhood, and his name was Artie. And like he would do anything. Like he was maybe, I don't know, just a lunatic, I suppose, an older kid or a young adult. And then so some of the other kids were like, they would egg him on. They said, hey, there's that family there, 3 people. Like I'll give you $1 if you go choke them. Really, right? And then the guy literally did it, And then but then luckily they wouldn't. Nobody was really hurt or anything like that, And then what the newspaper said the next day? Newspaper's headline was Artie chokes 3 for $1. Yeah. So, right. All right. Yeah. Obviously that's just a joke. So, alrighty, that's it. I'm gonna end this live stream here. Right. Yeah. Thanks again, Roy. Right. Yeah. Much love back to you as well. I know I've got to definitely send back to you. There's no way I can't not send back to you. So I'll do my best to catch you on your next live stream. And I'll make sure that my wife doesn't watch, so this way she is not critical of my live streams with no sound in the beginning and etc. So, yeah, everyone, I probably won't see you till the new year. So, everyone have a Merry Christmas. And I wish everyone Happy New Year. And I really do wish that 2022 will look up for most of us, which I think it will. And, yeah, so that's about that. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you guys very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.